came with at least some background in what Matt's doing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that gives you a leg up on all these other guys, but how has the teaching process gone to a bunch of guys who have not been in this system?
Everybody here that he's brought on has been an eager learning coach, and there's no egos whatsoever. So it's been pretty easy going as far as the being a sponge part of it, accepting the details part of it, something that maybe have been stuck on the last couple of years. They've been very willing to change, and it's been a really good transition as far as that.
Yeah, how's the room been for you when you got a couple guys who've played so long and then you got a couple guys who have very, very little experience? What has that meshing been like for you to try to reach all of them considering the different experience levels?
I mean, they've been very acceptant to everything as far as the coaching side of it. The impressive part is to see Mercedes and Jimmy, talk to the younger guys on the side at practice. In the meeting room, they're going to give their 2 cents on some things that may have given them an issue early on in their career, and they've been really willing to help those guys. Talking to Mercedes and Jimmy, they've been very professional as far as the change. They understand that they're seeing more of the field. They're being asked, to step up in certain roles that they may not have been in the last couple of years. And then it's exciting for them because I think it's a new leaf for them.
Justin, I don't know how much experience you have looking at a guy like Tanya who didn't have a lot of film last year, but he had a big play here.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of reps. Can you take what little he had last year and use that as a teaching, or is there just not enough film on him at this level to really apply, or you just got to start over?
Well, going into it, you got to evaluate your roster, who you got, and the video was minimal, but you got to see flashes of some things that got you excited. And then working with him this off season, you could see those flashes coming out, and it's going to be a rep thing with him. Obviously, he's still learning the tight end position as far as putting your hand in the ground and the run game part of it. But the great thing about him is he's so eager and willing and asks questions all the time and wants to be good at it. So, if you are willing and able, you have a chance. So, he's been really, really good as far as watching video, being on practice notes that I'm sending him, and asking questions that may not be pertaining to other guys that have been in the room that have done it many a times. So he's been pretty open with asking and getting things done.
What did you think of Jace when you saw his college film, and what are the areas that a young tight end can contribute early on in this particular system?
Jace was very talented at that level. He's very explosive, great hands. You can see the second level avoidance. You can see all that. Coming into the NFL, and there's so many things put on your plate in this offense. The acclimation part of it just needs to expedite in order to help out early on. So there's a lot of communication that goes on between me and him, and also Coach Koger that is assisting him. Just being able to take advantage of every second in this building with us, and then when he's not here, being the pro that he is taking time on his own to really dive into the details of it.
What are your early impressions of Jace?
Jace is, we see flashes like we saw in college. He's still learning, so when it comes to the learning side of it, you're a little bit slower in everything that you do, and that goes for everybody that's on the field. So once he starts to feel a little bit more comfortable with things, you can start to see it come to life, especially in individual and routes versus air. You start to see the confidence that we saw in college come out.
Justin, you obviously coached with Matt at Atlanta, but then the last 2 years he was gone, you were still there. Is Dan Quinn with the defense the same way that Matt is with the offense here? We've had Mike McCarthy here for 13 years. We're not used to seeing the head coach throwing balls or playing safety or rushing the passer. Is that how Dan Quinn is? And what do you see from Matt, knowing him for a while? why he's so involved, hands-on like that.
Yeah, I think Matt has, getting into this profession, Matt is in this profession because he loves the game. And usually when you're a player and you go to being a coach and you have to deal with all the hours that you work earlier on in your career, you have to really love the game. And I think Matt has the same similarities as Q when it comes to just being around the guys. He loves coming to work, you know what I mean? And it didn't happen when he was a head coach. He did it when he was, at Atlanta as a position coach. So this has been in his career, and this has been something he's been doing his whole life. So now it's just, he's in a bigger spotlight, and I think more people are seeing it now. Q has rubbed off on everybody that he's been around because of the positivity part of it, the competition part of it, and it's a lot of credit to him.
From the very beginning, Matt's been pretty emphatic with the role of the tight end, not just in the overall offense, but having to block and having to do certain things. I understand there's no pads, so what are you teaching or want to see out of Jimmy, Jason, and Robert and the other guys? We know Mercedes' track record.
Yeah.
At this point, hey, once pads come on,
Yeah.
You guys are moving in the right direction to make this work.
Yeah, anytime you put guys that are competitive on the field, they don't have pads, and you're asking them to go against a defense who has a little bit more of an edge to you in the run game when you're not, smashing. There's a little bit of frustration that goes through everybody, and it's not just the tight ends, it's every position. So, getting through that is number one. Number two is when they block a guy without pads on, that's when they are taking a step in the right direction. And we did see a few of those instances actually yesterday in practice. So we're taking the right steps, and it's all about fixing the mistakes and not making the same mistake twice when we're asking these guys to do it, and they've been phenomenal with it so far.
How can tight ends and offensive tackles build chemistry together for the run game?
We'll have a drill where we'll work together once a week, twice a week to get that communication going and getting used to each other. The other one is, you go to team run, team situations are always talking, and you'll see these guys walking around talking to each other off the field. And, they're always in constant communication. And it has nothing to do with just being playing next to each other. It could be, them being in the backfield talking to the quarterback and their tracks. So they're always talking to everybody on the field. Yeah.